What's going on, everyone? Gilman with Wellthy Stocks, back with our daily NIO update video, ticker symbol NIO, where we take a look at how NIO stock traded today, key levels of support and resistance that we are looking at moving into the future, and based on that, what we think NIO stock could do. So real quick, if you enjoy videos like this, don't forget to hit that like button down below, subscribe to my channel if you are new, and comment down below what your thoughts on NIO are. And I'd love to chat with you guys down there. So let me go ahead and hit record and we'll get right into the video. So as you can see, a decent red day on the day today. We're down $4.22, which is about 10.25%. So not a great day for NIO. Overall, the market was down as well. We take a look at the NASDAQ. It was down about 2%. Dow Jones was actually slightly up on the day, about 2 points, but pretty much flat. S&P was down 0.5%. But if we take a look at IWM, right, 2.3% down on the day. We take a look at IWO, the Russell 2000 growth, down about 30% on the day, right? So compared to all of those, right, NASDAQ being 2, IWM being more than 2, and growth being down 3%, you know, the fact that NIO is down 10% is still bad, but it's not like everything else is green and NIO is red. It's more that, you know, NIO is just more red than everything else. So what's going on? Why is the market selling off? Well, this week we've had the Fed talk a couple times, between Powell talking and Yellen talking. They're both saying that, you know, the economy is actually on its way to a recovery, but it will still take a little bit longer before everything is back to normal. We've got things like, you know, inflation potentially going up, so that's a concern. The 10-year yield, we'll take a look at that in just a second. That's been kind of moving up and down as well, which can really spook the markets. So that's what you know, we're seeing here, and they're saying that, hey, this kind of trajectory that we're on is a good thing. We're getting back to the recovery levels, and that kind of spooks some investors because we're less likely to see kind of the growth in the stock market that we had seen last year, and we'll see also a money movement from kind of some of those recovery stocks that had been depressed throughout the whole course of the pandemic. So money from growth stocks and tech stocks potentially going a little bit into more value and recovery plays as well, which is kind of what we're seeing here. Sector rotations happening. Today was just a relatively red day overall for a lot of different indices, but you know, in some cases we've seen money flowing into you know, some of those recovery names. Even some airlines today that started the day green, like I think AAL was one of them, right? They ended the day red on the day. CCL I think was something similar, right? Yeah, so I mean, a low of 24, high of 27. So great movement, or not great movement rather, but a lot of movement, very volatile in the overall market. So now what I want to do is I want to take a look at an article that talks a little bit about NIO. I mean, this article actually talks about NIO and XPeng, but I actually want to focus on the NIO portion of it, because I am still bullish on NIO. I'm holding my shares. I've got one leap going out to 2023 that I continue to hold. And here is kind of the reason why, right? So as Tesla sort of goes into China, they become a big competitor, right? Elon Musk has come out himself and said, hey, China is a big growing market for us and is a super important market. Therefore, they directly compete with NIO. But what NIO thinks is that they can create a far superior ownership experience for its customers than Tesla can offer. The other thing that they rely on is the idea that, hey, you're buying a Chinese car company, you're not buying, you know, a kind of foreign car. So that's what we're talking about here. This is the CFO saying that, hey, maybe Tesla is what convinces people to buy an electric car, but we think that at the end of the day, they could buy NIO cars because they have a lot of brand awareness, right? So that's what they want. They want NIO to be a household name amongst the Chinese market, which is exactly you know, what they're talking about here. So 44,000 is what they had in 2020, but you know, as of right now, they only had premium SUVs. As we talked about, they're coming out with that sedan relatively soon, and what we're talking about is the post-purchase service. So I've talked about this over and over again in my video, and that is the battery as a service solution, where about 55% of NIO users have actually subscribed to the service. What that does is two things. A, it differentiates NIO because they're offering a service that not a lot of car companies have, right? You go in, instead of having to charge and sit there, you take out a battery, put another one in, and you know, you're on your way. Good for the customer because it's convenient, good for NIO because it's recurring revenue. Typically, you sell a car, and especially, I mean, you can say that, you know, normal cars, you go in for service, but electric cars don't really have that much service that needs to be done. And so if they can get this recurring revenue, that means that, you know, one customer is still paying them over the long term. So that's what we're talking about here, you guys. January 2021, they revealed the ET7 going over 600 miles. So we'll see how that goes. And then the last thing that I want to kind of touch on here is that they're looking to expand overseas. They've already got their foothold in China. And I think we talked about it like maybe a few weeks ago, maybe even a month ago at this point, but there was a LinkedIn post about, you know, someone that can look at the expansion opportunities, maybe in the US, but definitely I think in Europe is where they're seriously probably heading. So if that happens right there, even a tiny sliver of the European market, it would be quite an achievement. What they're going to talk about, what they're going to do is they're going to do a custom tailored design of its EV that would suit the local market for Europe, for them to be able to sell cars in Europe successfully. That's what we're talking about, and plus they have the ability to ramp up their production to 150,000 cars by the end of 2021. So 44,000 in 2020 to production of 150,000 cars in the end of 2021. Again, all these things that I just pointed out are reasons why I remain bullish on NIO even on red days like this. And because my horizon on the stock is, you know, definitely a year, 2 years, 3 years, not, you know, a few weeks or a month, I'm okay with the dips. Sometimes I'll use them as an opportunity to even load up on more shares because I don't have kind of an expiration on, I need it to go up by April, right? If that's what I need, I'm probably not investing it in a growth company like NIO. I'm better off kind of just holding on to that money. So that's kind of my reasoning for holding. I have shares as well as a 2023 leap call, bullish on NIO long term. Now let's take a look at how it traded today. We'll talk about key levels of support and resistance. So yesterday, right, we closed here in the low 40s, and then today we opened above our 40.72 level that we kind of bounced off in the pre-market. Clearly though, right out the gate, we kind of broke below that. And then we kept selling off. We actually bounced perfectly off of our 38.50s level. Pretty nice bounce, rejected by VWAP though. And so again, we broke below this level. And then we ended the day here in the 36s. Now, good thing, well, not good thing. Bad thing is that we broke below 2 levels. We actually ended close to low of day, and we are decently below VWAP. Now let's take a look at, you know, the daily chart, and we'll see what we see. So you guys remember a few weeks ago, maybe 2 weeks ago at this point, we hit this low of 31.90. That was kind of a one-time thing. Market dipped, market recovered, we were happy. Other than that though, the low that we have is the 34.90 mark, which actually we're only about $2 away from. So that's what we are currently sitting at, but let's talk about specific levels of support and resistance. Again, first level of support is this 35.81, which is, you know, kind of that first level that if we keep dropping, I'm looking for a bounce on. And then we got 31.94, which is kind of where we bounced here. But between that, we've got the low of your low kind of closing wise, right, which was in the 34.90. So again, first level 35.81, then 34.90, and then 31.94. On the upside, we've got 38.53, $40 mark, 40.71, and then 42.38. That's what we have in terms of levels, guys. What I want to talk about here is even if we go back to kind of the recent highs, that's about a 25% return. I'm talking about where we were just a couple weeks ago after a little bit of a recovery. Remember, I talked about that 46 level being hard to break. This would be about a 25% return. If we somehow, some way go back to kind of the $60 mark, let's talk about this level right here in the 62, 63 range. That's about a 70% return. That's the reason why I'm continuing to hold NIO, because I definitely see the potential for it to go back up at those levels. I'm not saying now, I'm not even saying a week or a month from now. I'm saying, you know, eventually long-term market settles down, money starts flowing back in, volume increases, NIO does well, NIO keeps growing. We see a run there, right? So again, if you're a short-term investor or you have a short-term position, that's a lot different. But if you're long-term, those are kind of the reasons why I remain bullish. It's clear that we're seeing a lot of weakness, but what I'm hoping for is, hey, even if we get back to the mid-40s from where we are now, about 28% return, and then, you know, 70% if it goes back to kind of those $60 marks, which I do think it will sometime in the next, you know, few months or sometime in 2021. So that's the reason why I continue to hold you guys. Let me know down in the comment section what you guys think of NIO, and I'd love to chat with you guys down there. Let's remember to be a bit better every single day, and until next time.